This is the 2026 Kawasaki Z900, which is hard to miss thanks to its new sharp and edgy design. You have an all-new aggressive front, a futuristic tail section complemented by metal styling accents like the brushed aluminium side shrouds. You also get an all-new TFT display, you get Bluetooth connectivity, which means you get turn-by-turn navigation. You now finally get a bidirectional quick shifter as standard, you get cruise control, and more importantly, you get the IMU, which means you have cornering ABS and traction control to boost your safety.
As soon as you get on this motorcycle, you cannot help but have this big smile on your face to experience this familiar inline-4 948cc engine which we have come to love, which is absolutely renowned for that. It's stonking mid-range thanks to its closely spaced gear ratios. Yes, in this Euro 5 Plus emission trims, it's about 1 PS down, makes about 1 Newton meter less compared to the previous model, but trust me, you would be hard pressed to figure that out looking at this engine spool up. Whoppa! I mean, this is the reason why this engine has been a favorite among enthusiasts for so many years now. So much fun! And now Kawasaki have actually gone ahead and given this the one thing which had always been missing in its artillery, which is a bi-directional quick shifter. And my god, has it made a world of difference. The quick shifter itself is easily among the best in business, super slick, super smooth and super precise. And when combined with this amazing engine which loves to spool up, is an utter joy to work with. It's an absolute brilliant combination. When you also slow down, that's the other thing which you appreciate about this engine, man. It's refinement. I'm not really sure what Kawasaki have done, but it's made a world of difference in terms of the refinement. It's so much smoother. And a telltale sign, of course, is the fact that the foot pegs no longer are weighted. They don't have those dampening weights, which clearly shows that Kawasaki were confident about the refinement levels that this one packs. Yes, there is a little bit of a tinge around 6,000 RPM, which is quite common among inline fours. But then again, the very fact that you can ride this in higher gears means that you can easily bypass the issue. And that's the other big positive that makes you fall in love with this engine. It's tractability. It does not matter what gear you're in. So now I'm going in the 5th gear. I'm going to reduce the speed as low as, let's see, 36. Yeah, here we go. Still pulls cleanly. That's what I'm saying. It does not matter what gear you're in. It doesn't matter if you're riding at crawling speeds. This will still pull cleanly without any juddering. It's made to thrive in every kind of environment. And again, that's why when you ride around the city, it is an absolute delight because the engine is so tractable. The other thing that you'll really enjoy in the city are of course also the ergonomics. It's a nice and upright riding position, and I think for my 5'11" frame, this cockpit is really spacious, man. There's so much room for me to move around. The other thing which has happened is, of course, the seat height has gone up by 10 mm. It now stands at 830 millimeters. But the way that it has been designed, the way it tapers closer to a tank, it facilitates easy reach to the ground, and I can easily flat foot on this machine. Even when you are moving around slowly, that's the other thing which you love about this bike. The amazing weight distribution. It actually weighs 213 kgs, which is quite a lot for a naked. But when you're riding it, it feels like it weighs half as much, and that's down to the amazing weight distribution and the mass neutralization of this bike. It is absolutely spot on. also have the other things like you have adjustable levers to ensure that it fits you like it should. The turning radius on this is a lot shorter, which makes U-turns much easier. And I can especially appreciate that considering I was just riding the BMW S1000RR, which was a pain. So yeah, I really appreciate that. But yeah, if you're thinking, hey wait, I see cruise control, you're telling me that the engine is also really smooth, I'm 100% sure it can do 150 all day long. Yes, and that would also mean that you're getting fuel economy of what, 15 in the city, and on the highway you can easily eke out a range of at least 250 to 260 kilometers. Having said that, I would still not recommend touring on this machine because firstly, it's not really designed for that. You have absolutely no wind protection, so it will get tiring, and secondly, the seat itself is not really designed for long hours in the saddle. Which brings us to a third part, which is corners. And that's where the last part of this machine really stood out. It's suspension. It's a pretty basic suspension unit. You just have adjustability for rebound and preload at the front and the back. But it's amazing how much difference the tuning makes, because right out of the box, this bike has probably one of the best ride qualities I've experienced. I mean, it's almost custom designed for the creators of our roads. But as soon as you get here, you can easily get off, just turn the damping, and man, it becomes a hoot even in the corners. You have really good feedback, you have really good support. Yes, you will feel the weight during quick change of directions, but you have the leverage of this wide handlebar, which also helps. But I think you also have to remember that this bike is essentially designed for the road. So this is where it will thrive. But if you take this to the racetrack, you will be disappointed because there the suspension will undoubtedly feel a little too soft. And when you really start pushing the pace, you will find that the bike will start tying itself in knots because that's not what it's designed for. But I think more than anything, the Achilles heel of this motorcycle, even now in this trim, continues to be its ABS system. Now this one is undoubtedly safer thanks to the IMU, which means you also get cornering ABS, which is fantastic for the road. The problem is, it is insanely intrusive. This was a problem even with the previous model, and that problem continues to exist on this one. Because even though you have really good brakes, you now have radial caliper, you have a twin disc setup, you have really sticky Dunlop rubber, you still cannot put all that stopping power down, mainly because the ABS is just too intrusive. And that, I think, is the biggest deterrent for you to really fully exploit the potential of this engine or of this chassis or the bike and its riding dynamics overall, because the brakes just don't give you the stopping power that you need to really attack these corners in a confident way.
Where else can I improve? I think the heat management on this is actually pretty good. The radiator fan does a pretty good job of keeping the heat around 100 degrees Celsius, even in chock-a-block traffic, which is really good. The problem is it diverts all of that heat straight onto your shins. So that's something to look out for. Secondly, as much as I love this engine, I don't think this is a good option for people who are new to bigger capacity motorcycles. So if you're considering the Z900 as your first big bike purchase, I don't think it's a very good option, mainly because the engine and its tonking mid-range means that you need some experience, you need a very measured throttle hand, otherwise it will get you in trouble even in the rain mode. Next, as you can see, this is sold in India as a single seater. You don't get a pillion seat, you don't get pegs for the pillion. So in case you are planning to convince your better half to allow you to go ahead and purchase this bike so that you can ride together, yeah, that's not really going to happen. And lastly, thanks to our new GST update, this one will put you back by 10 lakhs. But honestly, looking at all the updates that this has gotten, I mean, I'll almost call this an overhaul, looking at the design changes, looking at the TFT dash, the quick shifter, the cruise control, the IMU, all the things that now you get with this motorcycle. I think not only does it more than justify the increase in its price tag, it still offers tremendous value. And more than anything, I feel now the Z900 is probably one of the most complete packages that it's ever been.